Good folks, I have a confession to make. I have overestimated Vladimir Putin many times. I try not to underestimate people. Underestimating is a mistake, especially underestimating people in high positions. But Vladimir Putin does things that keeps on doing things that make me feel like a fool every time. He keeps proving the fact that I think way too much of him, much more than he really is. And today was one more time when I overestimated Vladimir Putin, big time this time. Vladimir Putin made an address to the nation today. The propaganda had been hyping up this address as fateful. Vladimir Putin was going to announce something incredibly important, so it seemed. No wonder the mutiny just happened and the entire vertical of power, the entire Russian state fell apart for 3 days. No wonder after that Putin had something very important to say and very important announcements to make. Changes. Russia needs changes big time. So I figured that that's what he was going to do. He was going to announce very important changes. And again, I grossly overestimated Vladimir Putin. And, Putin delivered fateful speech. All right. He basically mumbled for 5 minutes. That was one of his worst speeches, okay? No message, no changes. Criminals are forgiven. The government has done well and people united between Russian state and between the president. Everything worked out well and according to the plan. He showed that he is weak and lack everything a leader should have. He's proven that once more. But this time, it's major. Right now, the Russian society has split into 3 parts. One part is laughing hard. It's those Russians who have common sense and critical thinking. They are happy. Another part is saying, what the fudge? And they're very disappointed, grossly disappointed. They are those who are Z-patriots and who are supporters of the war with Ukraine. And the third part is just confused and drunk. They didn't understand much of what Putin said, and they cheered anyway. Meanwhile, Vladimir Putin's speech today was just icing on top of the cake of his actions in the last 4 days, or should I say, his lack of actions. His speech has showed that what Wagner did, well, basically what Wagner is a toast, Prigozhin is toast, but the mutiny in Russia is far from over. This is not the end, this is just the beginning, my friends. The road to the Kremlin has been paved by the yellow bricks. And today, right now, you will find out why. Howdy everyone, my name is Konstantin. Welcome to Inside Russia, where I give you important news updates that I find that explain this mess that is happening inside Russia. What you will not find here is BS, propaganda, and lies. What you will find is truth, common sense, and logic, and some emotions, because I am a human being. Inside Russia is where usual Russia explained by the unusual Russian. For the first 30 or so minutes, I deliver my daily message, and then I invite everyone to carry on to live stream chat where we converse and I answer questions. I like that very much. And now I'd like to thank you all for coming and giving me a chance, listening, watching. I'd like to tell you what I think and how I think this event holds a huge importance for Russia. If we look at Russia at a glance right now, we will see that today the country has been slowly getting back to normal. Police in Rostov has returned for duty. Propaganda people went back to doing their thing, and they heard again. Moreover, they are doubling down their efforts to make up for the 3 days, that they were just completely silent and scared. Russian parliamentarians are back, senators back, to doing what is their most favorite thing, bashing America and whining how Russia is surrounded by the enemies, and this mutiny was just helping the enemy to break up Russia, to lose its sovereignty, and so forth. Power agencies, high-ranked officials have returned from hiding and shouting how they personally stopped the mutiny. It's all their win. They even started clearing mines and patching up trenches alongside M4 highway that they dug to slow down Wagner moving to Moscow a few days ago. And Putin's buddy Arkady Rotenberg just returned to Russia. First to leave and the last to come back. Him returning, it's true sign that all is safe in Russia. But is it really? Imagine a plane flying up high in the sky. It flies quietly for the longest time, and all of a sudden, boom, 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 the radio system comes on. Dear passengers, this is your captain speaking. We have just entered the area of turbulence. Please fasten your seat belts and sit down as fast as you can. Emergency, the turbulence. Help us out, let's take precautions so everything goes safely. Well, imagine that the plane is Russia, and the mutiny, the turbulence is Wagner's mutiny. Russia has entered the turbulence. First, let's talk about Prigozhin and his private army, Wagner. I will explain why I think they're toast, they're done, and they're out of the picture. Then I explained the importance of the event that they created recently. First, let's talk about Wagner. Wagner and Prigozhin, they just executed a very unexpected and bold, extremely bold operation that brought them close to an ultimate goal, the control of Russia, at least control of part of Russia. At the very end, Prigozhin got scared and turned around, made a U-turn. Prigozhin is still alive and he's still in control of his private army. All 25,000 men, convicted felons, criminals, scum, let's call them men for the simplicity's sake. So they're still alive and they're still out there, but I claim that both Prigozhin and Wagner are toast. And these are three main arguments. Number one, betrayal and lying. Authority of Prigozhin and respect for him from the Wagner troops are the foundation of success of Wagner. Prigozhin is the strong figure. He handpicked Wagner troops and freed them from prisons. He had them pardoned no matter what the crimes were, including pedophilia and cannibalism. He pardoned them. Well, he made other people pardon them, really. He paid them. He gave them money. He fed them. He gave them weapons and equipment. He trained them. He made them the best army in Russia. Wagner troops, they didn't fight for Russia. They didn't fight for families. They didn't fight for people of Russia. They fought for Prigozhin because they are a private army. They risked their lives for Prigozhin. They followed his orders. And Prigozhin gave them a dream. Imagine that. He freed them from prison. Some of them were in prison for a long, long time. So he gave them freedom. Them, convicted felons, the scum of the scum, he gave them a dream. They captured an entire Russian city, a large one, with over 1 million people living. He had them fight Russian military and win. He had them humiliate city's police and military. He had them enjoy complete control of the city. He had them capture Russian war 3-star generals, deputy of Minister of Defense, and the Chief of Staff inside Russian Army Southern Region HQ. Prigozhin moved to Moscow along with his troops. He gave them a dream to capture Moscow, okay? To become the best armed force in Russia. And the most importantly, become the saviors of Russia in shining armors, the Praetorians in Moscow, in the Kremlin, so to speak. And when they all were nearby, very close to the dream, at hand's reach, their leader, Yevgeny Prigozhin, betrayed them. He made a deal with the people who he had declared enemies just hours before, days before, weeks before. Sergei Shoigu, Gerasimov, Putin. You know, he ordered his troops to move, to topple those guys, to capture those guys. And turns out that he lied to his troops. All sacrifices by his troops were in vain. And right after announcing that he made a deal, he disappeared. Before, he was the man of people. He was always among his troops. He ate with them. He slept with them. He fought with them. And he betrayed them at the end. Wagner is not the same as it used to be. There's not the same kind of respect and admiration to Wagner's owner, Prigozhin. And I remind you, that is the key to Wagner's success. Number 2, the biggest threat. Wagner is Russia's best private army right now. Wagner is the real deal. Wagner is a huge existential threat to Putin's power and Putin's life. Wagner is not controlled by anyone in Russia except by Prigozhin. And Prigozhin, as it turns out, is a rogue person. A mighty force with no control from the government. A mighty force, not the part of the vertical of power. That is Putin's worst nightmare. And moreover, Wagner has already tried to take power and almost succeeded. To let Wagner exist further is like to have a rattlesnake under your pillow. If the snake doesn't like anything about you, it'll kill you. Therefore, Wagner must die. It makes perfect sense to anyone. Moreover, to let Wagner Wagner be created and operate in Russia was a lunacy, was the craziest idea I have ever heard. I talked about this before in my previous streams, and I even made one about why I thought that the civil wars come into Russia, and the existence of private armies was, I think, number 1 or among the first reasons. A strong private army equals mutiny, equals coup, equals power grab, And that's exactly what happened. and Wagner will die. They won't kill Wagner openly, all at once, overnight. Wagner troops are considered heroes by many in Russia after their justice march onto Moscow. But the Russian government will use its most favorite strategy, stepping stones or boiling the frog. The process has actually already begun. They have already moved around 5,000 troops or in the process of moving to Belarus. So they have started splitting Wagner. This is what they want to do. They're gonna fraction it, split into pieces, making pieces smaller and smaller. Then they'll be offering carrots to many Wagner troops. They will be offering to sign contracts with the Ministry of Defense in exchange for large cash bonuses. And many people will do that because remember, number one, they have lost a great deal of respect for their leadership. Then after they're done with carrots, they'll use sticks on those who will remain within Wagner despite all the cash bonuses and perks offered, So they will create a law that would put previously pardoned criminals back to prisons. And, they will come up with many, many things. Russian government is very creative like that, but I am pretty sure that very soon Wagner will become much weaker, and it will get weaker by the week. No pun intended. And very soon it will just disappear from the map of Russian power forces. And number 3, Yevgeny Prigozhin must die. Yevgeny Prigozhin committed a mortal sin, not a crime, mortal sin. He publicly turned against his creator, Vladimir Putin, and attempted to seize the most important thing Putin has, his power, his precious. Prigozhin was a hot dog seller. Before, he was a convicted felon spending 10 years in prison. And it was Vladimir Putin who just gave him everything. Power, money, permission to create world-famous troll factories. And then ЧВК Wagner, Russia's first private army, financed by the Russian government, as it turns out to be. Vladimir Putin admitted it today. Just in 18 months, they spent over $1 billion just to keep ЧВК Wagner going. Russian taxpayers' money. So he let Prigozhin create ЧВК Wagner. He gave them power over people's lives. Prigozhin owes Putin everything. And what did Prigozhin do? He stole from Putin? He insulted Putin? He disobeyed orders? No, that's all forgivable. He did the unthinkable. He backstabbed. He attempted to steal power. No one else in the history of the world, Russia, modern day Russia, attempted to do that. And Prigozhin did. Moreover, by his successful attempt, semi-successful attempt, he showed the entire world how small, scared, and weak Vladimir Putin is. That's double mortal sin. That will not be forgotten and that will not be forgiven. Prigozhin must be punished. The entire world must see how Putin deals with those who try to take away his power. The entire world will gasp in awe soon. Prigozhin is toast. He's a dead man walking. Again, these have been 3 major arguments why Prigozhin and his Wagner private army are toast. They're not anymore. Although they exist, they do not exist. But despite that, the mutiny that they started, it hasn't ended. The turbulence has not ended. This is just the beginning. You see, what Wagner did by creating this mutiny, it paved the road for others to come. Russia has many ambitious people. Russia has very many rich people. Russia has very many strong people. And Russia has many people who sleep and wake up with one desire: to be on top of the hill. The mutiny has showed that it is possible, it's doable, it's probable. Wagner, by its actions, has busted the myth of the strong president, of the strong state, of the stability, and of the strong vertical of power. Wagner took a huge hit at the foundation of fear and trust of the vertical of power. Let me remind you, Russia is being run by the vertical of power. This system of governance of the society has been created by Vladimir Putin. He started creating it as soon as he became the president in 2000, late 2000, and by 2022, he perfected it. The vertical of power is a pyramid. On the very top, there's one man, the Tsar, and the very bottom, 145 millions of Russian people. The guy at top has absolute power. People, the populace at the bottom, have no power at all, or very little of it. All the decisions for people how to live their lives are made by one person and his inner circle on the very top. And the vertical of power is the tool consisting of people, the government, that takes orders from the very top and brings them to the very bottom. The branches consist of different government agencies. And this is how Russia is run. There's one principle that, there's one prerequisite that this vertical power, that makes vertical of power strong. The leader on top must be strong. This is the principle of strength. The leader, number one, the strongest, the smartest, the most ruthless. The leader makes orders, gives orders, and sends them downwards, and they are executed the very same way as, they are ordered. All branches, all levels, they do not ask questions, they do not think. They just take orders and execute them in a way, the orders come, no questions asked. Now, what happened in the last 4 days? The very top leadership, the Tsar. Let's start with the Russian army. Russian army is one of the agencies, one of the parts of Russian government that is supposed to be the strongest, okay? That's supposed to defend from any threat that arises. And the Russian army simply failed to defend. Russian army allowed a bunch of criminals who were in prisons yesterday, and now they're just a band of soldiers of fortune. Russian army allowed those criminals to move in and capture, if it's hugely important, southern region HQ in Rostov-on-Don. Along with the HQ, all the personnel, including 2 top generals, were captured. The generals, the Deputy Minister of Defense and the Deputy Chief of Staff, were generals. They were publicly humiliated by these criminals, They were attempts made by the Russian military to destroy Wagner. Aircrafts were, clashing. And guess what happened? Wagner easily downed the aircrafts. Russian army simply failed on all fronts. It failed to defend. It showed its weakness, and it appeared as a joke. Russian state consists of different agencies, including power agencies, police, KGB, state police, Rosguardia, and so forth. And guess what happened? As soon as ЧВК Wagner, this private army, was closing in on a city, then police and other power agencies were simply running away for their life. They did not protect people. They did not protect the state. They did not protect Vladimir Putin. They simply fled and hid. And they were nowhere to be found for as long as ЧВК Wagner was in control. So Russian power agencies, they simply disappeared for, the duration of the mutiny. What about Russian people who have lots of money, the oligarchs, the financial foundation of Russian society, the wallets of Vladimir Putin? What happened to them? On the very first day of this mutiny, they rushed into their private planes, very nice, expensive, small, shining planes, and flew away from Russia into different directions. Plain and simple. They all have abandoned their president, their state, and their country. And I'm not even talking about the people, because I don't think they really care about people whatsoever. Propaganda. What happened to propaganda? A bunch of people in charge of media space of Russia, they had been brainwashing Russian minds. They had been engineering ideas and putting them, installing them into heads of people. What happened to them? Oh, they simply disappeared for the time of the mutiny. The government also disappeared, and propaganda didn't know what to say. They don't have their own voice. They only say what they're told to say. So, propaganda basically fell apart. And the leadership in the government also turned out to be non-existent. We did not hear any senators. We did not see anyone going on TV. We didn't hear anyone going on radio. No senators, no ministers, no prime minister, no one. Russian state turned out to be, well, how should I say that? We thought it was made out of concrete, but kind of turned out to be made out of hay. And the Russian president, holy moly. For a long time, we just didn't know what happened to Russian president or where he was. And then they showed us a 5-minute address. They shouldn't have shown it. It was better not to show, because he looked scared. The guy in charge of big country, the guy in charge of a huge army, is supposed to be, he's waging a war in Ukraine. He made the decision. He keeps telling that Russia is surrounded by the enemy. Therefore, he's the president of the country that is fighting the entire world. And then he was afraid of 25,000 former prisoners, convicted felons. Gosh. 4 days ago, we learned that we don't really have a president. The guy who acts as he's a president, he just lacks the qualities that the president must have. So, who's left? The Russian people, of course. The Russian people, like Vladimir Putin today said in the speech, they united behind the government, the state, and the president. That's not even a lie, because it's a joke, okay? I saw with my own eyes in numerous videos how Russian people were cheering Wagner group, how they were lashing at Russian cops, okay? The camera does not lie, video does not lie. That's out there, just go and watch. Yet Vladimir Putin claims that people have united. Yeah, right. So, before this mutiny, the situation where someone would try to take an attempt to take power in Russia was unimaginable. It was considered a suicide. There was the myth of the strong state, the strong vertical of power. In case of a threat to the state and to the president and to current status quo, the stability, every level of that vertical, every piece, every person employed by the state, police, KGB, customs, whatever, would come to defend, to save the state and to save the president. That's what we tended to believe. Now we know that if a force, even a little force that appears to have some strength, led by anyone with the nerves of steel and a mission, surfaces, all government people, they simply run away. Highways will be free of police. Roads will be free of Russian military. And Moscow will be empty for grabs. And right now, you can be sure that just right now, there are many people in Russia, Russians, are sitting at tables and asking themselves this question: what if someone beats me to that? And this is the flagship question. Behind this question, there are plans, and I'm pretty sure that are being made. Because everyone has seen the precedent. Everyone has seen an example. Everyone has seen that it's doable, it's possible, and it's probable. And this is the beginning. The turbulence is on. Russia is just in the beginning of the time of big changes. For better or for worse, I don't know. But changes, that's guaranteed. Folks, this has been my message for today. Thank you so much for coming, listening, giving me a chance to speak. Thank you. This is my second stream today. My message before, I just gave you the facts, the news, and the recent developments. There are so many that I just simply cannot cover everything in one stream, so this is the second one. If you haven't watched the first one, go and check it out. I would like to ask you to do me a favor. Before I turn on the live stream chat, would you please help me spread my message by allowing, by making reposts in the social media accounts? Would you please consider signing up for my Telegram channel to get latest announcements? It's called Inside Konstantin's Russia. The link will be in the description under the video. And if you would like to buy me a coffee, I wouldn't mind. Thank you so very much. I'd appreciate that. Turning on the live stream chat, inviting everyone to carry over there, and I will be glad to converse and answer your question. And I'm pretty sure that you have many. Howdy, howdy, mods and mods again, and the usual suspects again. Some of them were, some of you were in earlier stream today. It's fantastic. Thank you so much. Folks, great to see everyone here. Thank you. Lorna, Mammy, Harry, Blackhead, Bob S, and Prince Amir. Guys, also Dirk, John, Kyle, Karino, Airborne Snail, Jesteri, Timo, Doug, Isabel, Mr. Kaliskin, Ferrari Guy, 9 Veka, Paula W, Dave Strains, Master Q, Calvin Magnus Forsland. Calvin, I did not get the message from you. I'm not sure how to refund your, how to cancel your membership. I remember the request. So let me know. RW, howdy, howdy. Mikhail, howdy. Well, if you want me to notice your message easier, your question easier, please put it in caps as usual and put inside Russia after @ so I see it easier. It's highlighted in orange, large orange box. Thank you, just like Harry Potter did. Mr. Kaliskin, howdy from Chicago Oblast. Our skies are smoky due to the fires in Canada. The skies in Tashkent are clear, clear, clear. Dave Strains, extended family, thank you so much. Bob S., howdy again. Mikhail, who's next? I don't know. I don't know. You see, sometimes the situation develops unpredictably. And I can tell you that there will be takes. This is my opinion. This is my, my angle. Mark my words. But I don't know who. It could be, I don't believe that there will be one force. I don't believe that it's going to be one person, one oligarch. I think that the government and Putin will change something, but not much. Most likely they will ban private armies in Russia. Again, it was banned before. But what I think is going to happen is there will be coalition of different oligarchs, of FSB or perhaps of army generals, some or many or all, that I don't know. But I don't know who, but there will be blood. RW, the mills of the gods are exceedingly slow, but their grind exceedingly fine. Very good phrase. Thank you, my friend. I'm gonna make a screenshot of it and keep it for later. Thank you. And from Czech Republic, Caesars, moving beyond the Putin era, how do you think his successor will be tested at the beginning? I can't say. It depends. The situation, there are many paths right now, and we're standing at the crossroad, right? We can take any path. Depending on which path is taken, the events will be different. So, can't tell you, I'm sorry. I simply don't know. Blackhat, howdy, howdy. Marsha Tucker, hello. Good to see you too. Looking for comments in caps and highlighted in orange. Stefan Baptiste, thank you so much. Coffee, no tea. Yeah, this is tea. And guess what this tea is? It's English breakfast, Twinings, I don't drink coffee much, especially I don't drink coffee at night. Once in a while in the morning I drink coffee, but this is the good stuff. Better than coffee. It's good. English breakfast. So flavorful. Guy L, what the fudge? What the second best army in the world? Well, I can tell you, I don't know who the second best army in the world is, but I can tell you that Russian army is the second best army in Russia. M Light, howdy, howdy. Romania, 2243 now. Florentina, howdy. Sam K, you're absolutely... Thank you. Sam, thank you so much for good words. Janice Burgess, howdy. Jason, what about Wagner in Africa and Middle East? No. Wagner is dead. Wagner committed a mortal sin. Wagner moved out onto Moscow. Wagner was ready to move. Wagner shot down Russian aircrafts, killed 12 Russian pilots, and a few people along the way, okay? To let Wagner out to Africa, or Middle East, so it comes back later, stronger, and takes, attempts to go to Moscow again? I don't think so. Be more with God. Thank you so much. Sponsor for 9 months. Deep inside Russia, that's a higher tier. My friend, I appreciate your sponsorship. Thank you so much. The illusion of Putin's power has been shattered. That's exactly what my stream is about. Prigozhin may have failed, but he showed others it is possible. It is doable, possible, and probable. He was the spark that will lead to fire. Yes, yes, and yes. Thank you. Mikhail, howdy. Welcome back. Some claim time is on Putin's side regarding the Ukrainian war. He is now a hunted man, and Russia money is running out. Any thoughts? I don't know anything, well, not much about military. I'm not a military expert. But I'm an expert in Russian economy, and it's not doing well. I was going to release a video with facts and figures, but this mutiny kind of stood in the way. The video is on the way. Russian economy is not doing well at all, and this mutiny has taken a dent on top of this bad performance in Russian economy. I actually want to do 2 streams. The general stream about the state of Russian economy in June 2023 and how economically this mutiny has influenced Russia. Okay, so the answer is on the way. In a nutshell, money is definitely running out. RW has just sponsored 20 people with a gift of membership. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you again. Such a pleasure to have you here. Trial Babylon. Tria Babylon. Interesting name from Australia. All the best to you and your lovely family. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. Much needed and very appreciated. Thank you. Так. The Big Cat, thank you so much. Harvey, Southcliffe, hey, hello. Hooked by Donian, howdy. Thank you for the heart. Sending my love from Tashkent to Canada. Multi-Daki, good Abend. Calvin, thank you so much. Thank you. Hello, Dima. Good morning from Little New Zealand. Perhaps one of the best places in the world. Wonder what crazy events will happen today. Me too. I'm just wondering what I'm gonna see when I close this stream and I turn on the news. Bob Brennan from Wisconsin, USA. Howdy. Martin, howdy. So many people. How many? Interesting. 5,200. That's a lot. Thank you everyone for coming and listening to me. KG1, welcome back. Good to see you. Thank you. Have there been any reaction from Russian people about Prigozhin rants on number of casualties? Surprisingly not. I am slowly losing faith in Russian people and their ability to react. Prigozhin has clearly stated that has been over 100,000 casualties. I didn't hear anyone fretting about it. This is the most outrageous thing, In Afghanistan, in over 10 years, in about 10 years, Russia lost 15,000 people. Soviet Union lost 15,000 people. Here, 18 months, over 100,000 Russians, and how many hundred thousands of Ukrainians, including civilians? For what? What is the purpose of this? So one man decides to take Ukraine, teach Ukraine a lesson, decides to punish it for, turning away from Russia. Yeah. Oi. Calvin, I send another sack of potatoes to show that I love you, brother. Thank you so much. Thank you. Sack of potatoes is taken. Thank you. Look at this. Chrissy, thank you so much for sponsoring 20 people, giving them gifts of membership. Thank you. There will be a private stream for sponsors and members soon on Saturday, as usual. So again, Chrissy, thank you. I appreciate it very much. And 20 people appreciate it too. Carson Larrymore, thank you. Do you think Putin is afraid to take out Prigozhin because it would make him a martyr? Martyr, I think. Is it martyr? Causing more to band together? No. He could care less. He's not going to do it immediately, obviously, okay? He's going to wait a little bit. Putin doesn't do anything right away. He waits and then he does things. I mean, there have been others too, The most famous one is, of course, Boris Nemtsov, so Prigozhin is a dead man walking. Martin Neeson, thank you so much. Are there any objective news channel available to Russians? Tons. Do Russians trust what is being reported? Or has the attitude changed? Oh, my friend. You same questions over and over again. I understand why you asking me this question. I understand your hope. You're hoping I would tell you, yes, their attitude is becoming to change. I would like to answer that, but no. That's one of the things that's absolutely driving me nuts. No, they have plenty of information available to them. Just go on YouTube, go to tons, like a dozen channels. Fantastic information. Lots of Russians watch it, millions watch it, but nothing happens. The attitude is not changing. Jason Carney, howdy. Thank you so much for your support. Much appreciated, very much needed, and much appreciated. You send hugely valuable and important messages, although you don't type words, Thank you, Jason. And thank you for sponsoring 5 people with memberships of Inside Russia. Thank you so much. Robert R., I read one of the theories behind why the coup was called off was because family members of Prigozhin and other Wagner leaders were threatened by FSB. I do not believe that. Now, Robert, the very first second you start thinking and analyzing and asking yourself question why, the very first second this theory just jumps into your mind. Why? Well, because you are threatened with the most valuable thing that you have, your people, your family, your kids, But place yourself in shoes of Prigozhin and his top lieutenants or generals. You know what you're about to do. You know what you have been doing. You know what you're about to do. You know the magnitude of danger to you and your family. And, Prigozhin is a very wealthy man. Putin just accused him of stealing $1 billion in the last 18 months. Prigozhin has a few private jets. Don't you think that he wouldn't send private jet to his family and secure them? Don't you think that these trusted people, heads of ЧВК Wagner, would do the same thing? Of course they would. That's the first thing you do. So I do not believe this theory. I just don't believe that Prigozhin and other folks so stupid and insensitive and I don't even know. So prayers are so stupid to leave the families behind and not in safety. So no, I'm not buying this. EdTube, howdy, thank you. Greetings from Germany, born in ex-Yugoslavia. Well, guten Abend. I'm not sure how to say it in Yugoslavian. Watched every stream since Ukrainian war started. Not sure how your brain processes information, but you've been the best, most honest, most accurate source I could find. Well, first of all, thanks for the money. It's much appreciated and very welcome, but that's not the most important thing that I get from your message. Your words are absolutely priceless. Trust me. You touch my heart when you write something like this. I try really hard. How my brain processes all of this, I don't know. I just do it. I wake up every morning with one thought and I fall asleep with the same thought, okay? I am just sucking in all the information and analyzing it and spitting it out, sharing with the world, so. Oh, Chrissy, another 20 people, another 20 gifts of sponsorship. I don't know what to say. Thank you. I'm speechless. Thank you so much. From me and from another 20 people. I don't know. Is there anything I can do for you? Just let me know. Charlie B, as usual, from Pacific Beach, California. Crazy days and more to come. Yes, there have been crazy days, and yes, there are more to come. Paula W, China must be thinking. Oh, China's. It's not thinking. It goes like this, you know. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. I think that's what's going on. I think that China is going to be playing, or perhaps already is playing, a very active role in this. Not openly, but behind the curtains. You know, it is buying people up. It's probably supplying them with the resources, with the hope and agreement that China will get something nice at the end, you know. Michael Mueller, will Putin install a puppet proxy like Medvedev? I don't think so. If he was thinking about it, he would have installed already. He's all out until he's dead. Angela, thank you so much. Sending love from Tashkent, Uzbekistan. Thank you. Czech Republic, every time I see you and fellow Czechs, warms my heart. Thank you so much. Czech is a very close country. My mom and dad spent 10 years in Prague. I traveled to Prague so much. So many times. Great place, great city. I have lots of friends in Prague. They live in Prague. Andrew Marshall, £5. Thank you so much. Well, let me cheer to you with this fantastic English breakfast tea by Twinings. No, folks, I am not sponsored by Twinings. I just love this tea. I'm sorry. Andrew, question. Do you think if the Ukrainians break through into Crimea, Putin will use nukes to blow up Zaporozhye nuclear plant? NATO said they would intervene. Andrew, I personally think that Putin will not use the red button. And I hope that I am right. Okay? I pray to God he does not use the red button. The rumors have it he has been warned that if he does, he will be wiped out, and he doesn't want to die. Without nukes, using nukes, he has some kind of space for maneuvering. With using nukes, no space. Okay, that's an open confrontation with NATO and death. Can they blow up Zaporozhye nuclear plant? They can. There are rumors about that too. That will not be as using nukes, but they can do that. They can create, well, I hope they will not do that again. They might blow something up to create minor radiation spill or something like that. But knowing Russians, they do it everything in such a ridiculously bad way that if they want to blow up something little, they definitely will mess up and blow up big time, you know. Ann Larson, howdy. Thank you so much. Sending lots of love to Sweden. Thank you. Eddie, good evening from Greece. Whoa. Eddie, I wish I could go and vacate to Greece. I'm thinking of taking my kids, you know, and all my kids in one place. I wish Greece was a choice, but unfortunately they're not going to give us visas because we're Russian. Love Greece. I love Crete. I love the Dodekanes, the roads, the Rhode Island, Rhodes Island. Wins black. Can we get new economy updates? I love doing economy updates, folks. This is. I am an economist. I was going to make an economy update, but the mutiny happened. Okay, it got in the way. So, like I said earlier today, I'm doing one update, and that it's crazy. The numbers are not good. Okay. And the second, I will try to do the second update. I'm not sure how I can find information, but I want to estimate economic damage from this mutiny to Russian economy. So that's going to be a very challenging task, but we'll see. I don't promise, but I'll try. I'm not promising, but I'll try. Linda, I sent a message today through email. I'm sorry, I haven't checked it out. It's been crazy 4 days. Tomorrow will be a little easier. It's holiday in Uzbekistan, so I will be able to read and reply. So just give me another day. Thank you. The Lampini, thank you so much. Thank you, Arnaud. Ole John Bjorkum, thank you so much for your huge support. I appreciate it very much. You see yourself returning to Russia? If so, when and what do you think about the Uzbek president being only one of 5 participating in the May parade? Used to be attended by the Western leaders as well. I remember those times. We were very proud that we could host all the Western leaders. We were feeling like we were finally the part of the world's family. Now it's a shame. Uzbekistan seems a temp refugee country. Okay, there are 3 statements or questions inside of your super chat. I answered one of them. I remember those times when the Western leaders, including the American leader, came to visit, and ouch. First of all, I do not see myself returning to Russia. I am sorry, I'm being honest. I could have made up things. Oh yes, I would love to go back. And one thing that makes this thought of going back unbearable is people. How am I going to live among people who have been supporting the war, who have been people who have been supporting, I don't know, Putin, who have been saying nasty things about Ukraine for nothing, who believe that Russia is surrounded by the enemies, America is the enemy. How can I live among those people? I'm sorry, but I don't want to. So, what do you think about Uzbek president being only one of 5 participating in the May parade? I've thought about it. I have a feeling that all those 5 presidents have been either not blackmailed, but pressed very, very hard into going to Moscow. Perhaps they were offered something in exchange, okay? And the Kazakh president, when he returned to Kazakhstan, he said, well, I didn't go there to the parade. I went to my ancestors' graves just to give them due. And then I just happened to, walk by, and I was in Moscow at the same time, and I just stopped by for the parade. Okay, and everyone else did not comment them coming to the parade. And you're absolutely right. Uzbekistan seems a transit for lots of Russians, lots of refugees. Although, my estimation, about 30% of people stay, because it's a lovely country, really. Nice climate, it's warm, hot and nice winters. Fantastic produce, fruits, vegetables. Food is out of this world. People are friendly, zero crime, nice country. As long as you don't make your money in Uzbekistan, because economy here is not great. So if you have source of income from somewhere else and you just live in Uzbekistan, that's fantastic. If you make money in Uzbekistan, that's really difficult. Average salary here is $300 per month. JRG projects. History will repeat itself. Russia will dispose of Wagner the way the Nazi regime disposed of the SA before World War II. Wagner will become the new bad guy of the month and will be branded a Western asset. Well, yes, that was exactly what I was talking about. In other words, I said that they will find a way how to get rid of Wagner. Okay, step by step, not at the same time and not overnight, but step by step. And you most likely right. They'll come up with things like that. And thank you for your support, by the way. Just Terry, well, they are exciting times, but they are also very sad and tragic times for both Russia and Ukraine. Lisa, howdy. All the leaves are brown and the skies are gray. True, Scott. Howdy, I really like what you're saying, but the question is, who do you see that is in a position to lead such a charge? And if no one around, how long till someone gathers that power? Years? Well, honestly, I don't see a strong leader that can lead Russia democratically right now. But leaders are born and made, no, not born. Leaders are made. Either born or made. Anyway, look at Zelensky. I was very skeptical of him. He was, in my eyes, he was not a great leader of Ukraine before the war. And look what has happened to him. He has blossomed. He has been one of the best leaders I've seen, okay? And he grew. And I believe that someone might grow just the same way Zelensky did. And then the second question, no one around. How long will it take for someone to gather that power? Years? No, not years. Weeks and months. My bet is Putin is going to be out of the office by the end of the year. Maria, hello from Florida. Howdy, howdy. Everything's fine today. Yuri Chen, Russia will hopefully become democratic. Well, I hope so, and I pray every single day for angels to come and get rid of the demons and run Russia, Calvin, I don't want to cancel my membership. I don't know what that is about. What? I thought I received an email from you asking me to cancel. Perhaps it was a different Calvin, not you. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, to insult you, but there was a guy, his name is Calvin, and he emailed me saying, how can I cancel my membership? Something, my financial situation changed or something. And I said, well, could you please, I answered, I did not get email in return. So that's what I was saying. Gary, do you still think Lukashenko had nothing to do with the deal? Very little. I still think that very little. The deal was made not by Lukashenko. He was merely told what to do, or he was offered. There was a deal made with him. So let's say he would host Wagner for a few months, and then he would get an aid from Russia, financial aid, $2 billion or something like that. I believe in this kind of a deal with him. Because why would you want to let so many thousands of armed men into your country, a relatively small country? Why would you want to do that? They will immediately become a threat to you, okay? So, yes, I do. I still believe that he had very little. Steve Morris, thank you for sponsoring one person with gift of membership. Giving gift membership of one person. Thank you so much. Guy L, I did forward the Twinings email, but I guess you've been busy. Wait a second. I saw the email that Twinings said, oh, thanks for the information. We will look into it. I thought that I do not need to reply to that. So I'll check it again. Thank you, Guy. Yok3R. Good evening, good Nabend. Some hard streaming in the last 96 hours. Harvey, you'd better believe it. I'm pretty much both physically and emotionally exhausted. Yeah, and I just came back from a mini vacation. I need a macro vacation now. No, I'm not taking one. Brother Randall, thank you for another powerful, insightful message. Thank you, Brother Randall. Thank you so much. Smoked out here to Northern Illinois. Dave Strains. Fasten your seatbelt, Constantine. Indeed, Michael. Or is it Mikhail Martinu? Jim Coop, thank you so much. Bogdan, does China have one or more several private military companies in Russia? Not that I know of, but I am pretty sure that China is covertly operating in Russia. China has bought few people, and China has people of influence in Russia. So that's, I'm pretty sure. I don't know who they are, though. Joe, who and how will challenge Putin? Well, Prigozhin just challenged them 4 days ago, and he was nearly successful. The whole thing was like a dream. Oh, let me take a little pause. So good. I don't know. I am Russian. Why I like tea so much? Please, anyone tell me, please. Why don't I like vodka? Imagine I'd be sitting right here right now with a bottle or pot of vodka, and I'd be like sipping vodka, Instead, I'm sitting here with English breakfast tea. Dan Caldwell, it's been shown that the emperor has no clothes, and that's shocking. Terrible sight indeed. Yep. Viking, how can Prigozhin be safe in Belarus? Makes no sense to go there. I don't know what Prigozhin is thinking. I understand that he's not stupid. I understand that he's smart, and he must know that he's not safe there. He's not safe anywhere. Once he made the decision to move out, capture Rostov to go to Moscow, he's not safe anywhere. Africa? Oh, come on, give me a break. He's committed the mortal sin. Putin will not forget and will not forgive. And you know what? I think they will not forget and they will not forgive all members of ЧВК Wagner. They are saying right now, oh, you are heroes, you've been misled, you've been lied to some people. You know, no. That's just smoke and mirrors. They gonna get every single one. KG1, thank you. Sickened as child among dead at Kramatorsk restaurant. Shopping center that have been attacked tonight. Oh, another attack, huh? Oh my gosh. That's sick. That's sick. They just... Oh. Ukrainians, please forgive us. This is so bad. Stefan, thank you. You like tea so much because you're good. Like the bear from Masha and the Bear. Thank you. Peter Marshall, thank you, Peter, so much. You have just gifted sponsorship to 5 people. Thank you from me and from 5 people. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ferrari guy, now that Mr. P admits to state funding of Wagner, what do you think about state liability for all previous Wagner global atrocities now that plausible deniability has utterly vanished? Ferrari guy, I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw Putin publicly giving the numbers and admitting that he has been funding, well, the state has been funding ЧВК Wagner. Yes, they will be made liable. Yes, the Russian state was paying criminals to go and commit atrocities in Ukraine. You know, it's crazy. He's crazy. He's absolutely crazy. Caesar, Agnes, thank you so much. Tea for everyone. Thank you. I will buy tea for everyone tomorrow morning at the Breakfast Club. Darren Eiler, thank you for being you. Thank you so much. Maybe you're Englishman in your previous life. I don't know. Must have been. I always drink tea straight. No sugar, no lemon. Very rarely milk. And I love it so much. I find it so tasty. It's good. Normie Peasant, howdy and thank you so much. Do you think it's possible for the current Russian regime to eventually change peacefully? No. Or is it general public too politically apathetic for anything other than a violent coup? I don't see any possible way for the current regime to eventually change peacefully. How? Through elections? No. The power is, once you have it and you have like absolute power, you grab it and you lose all your human qualities. You just want to keep your power for as long as possible. You start committing crimes, you start killing people, you start, do all this crazy things just to keep your power. You're not going to give up. Power is not handed over in Russia. Power is taken violently usually. In general public is not even in the picture. From New Zealand, 2 minutes to midnight. Best way to drink tea, I agree. Thank you, and this is the way I'm drinking. Cheers to you. Thanks for your support. And you taste what tea has to offer. You know, its flavor, its терпкость. It's this tingling in your mouth. So good. Andy Smith, since the depoliticized public in Russia so unused to have an opinion, isn't it inevitably the next president will simply be another strong, brutal person? Does this help? I don't know, Andy. I don't know. You see, Russia had some chance on. They would have had some chance under a person like Navalny. Okay, life is too colorful, more colorful and tasteful than any other how to say it in English. Life is much more colorful and tasteful than any of our ideas about life. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say, but anyway, it's unpredictable. Perhaps you're right, perhaps no. Perhaps a leader is born in Russia, a great leader, and he'll turn Russia. She would turn Russia like to a different direction. I don't know. Mark II, hi Constantine. Wagner troops in other countries will now become Russian troops. So, what will the world say about the Russian army active in third countries? I don't think Wagner will make it to the third countries anymore, to be honest with you. And if it does, I think it'll be taken care of. We have a new sponsor, Colin Ralph. Thank you so much and welcome to Inside Russia. Time is up. Signal in Nightbot. Okay, point taken. Thank you. Do you think the Wagner troops feel betrayed by Prigozhin? Absolutely. Yes. Prigozhin gave them this hope, this dream. He took them along to Moscow, and then he betrayed them. He lied to them. Right now he's saying, well, I never intended to go and take power. You know, it was just an exercise, you know. And these people, they didn't think it was an exercise when they were following him to Moscow. No. Now he's trying to save his butt, okay, and he's being listened by them. So definitely they feel betrayed and they feel lied. And I think one of the biggest news in the next few days will be we will see a chasm growing inside Wagner Group. And this is just like what I said, Wagner is toast. It's one of the things that will be stimulated by outer forces. And the Wagner, they will break it into two parts. And then they'll break those two parts into two parts. And then they'll start dissolving Wagner. Who are the good guys and who are the bad guys? Valerie Rogers. Navalny is a good guy. Good guys are outside Russia right now. Mikhail Khodorkovsky is trying to organize Russian opposition, centralized opposition in Europe. Karamurza is a good guy. He's in prison, unfortunately. Ilya Yashin is a good guy in prison. And the bad guys, pretty much everyone else. Della Street, thank you so much. Thank you for your support. Okie dokie. Folks, I would like to invite everyone to pray along with me to finish this stream in prayer, as usual. If you're religious or if you're not, it doesn't matter to me. We're all human beings. We're the same. We have hearts that are beating and have love in them. And in my life, and for me, that's what God is all about. So I think we're all the same in front of God. So I invite you to pray. And if you don't like to call it prayer, just send good wishes along with us, because that's what we do. We send good wishes and good vibes and good energy to people. So please do that. Folks, let's do it. Thank you so much. Dear Lord Jesus Christ, thank you very much for giving us this day. Thank you very much for putting food on our tables and putting roofs over our heads. Thank you for surrounding us with people who we love and who love us. Please give us enough wisdom to keep the skies above our children's heads safe, and raise our children the way that when they become adults, they will fix this world, they will make it a better place, and they will do a better job living than we have done. Meanwhile, please keep our children safe and healthy. Dear Lord, please help to stop the bloodshed in Ukraine. Please, the country has suffered so much. Please answer every Ukrainian's prayer and make every Ukrainian's wish come true. Send every Ukrainian an angel, so the angels keep danger out of people's way. Please help my country, Russia. Assemble the army of your strongest angels with sharpest swords, led by Saint Michael in shining armor, and send them to earth to get rid of the demons that have hijacked my country. Have angels run Russia, make it good, make it respectful, respected, loved, and loving. Dear Lord, please send safe travels to all who are traveling. Send help to those who are seeking for asylum, especially families. Please help all people who are helping Ukrainians, opening their houses, wallets, souls, and hearts. Please help the sick, the homeless, the jobless, the unhappy, the depressed, the ones with low self-esteem, the ones who are struggling with their faith. Please shine your heavenly light upon those people, so they will feel better about themselves, and they will have a shot at happiness. Please help all the single mothers who are raising children and struggling, making ends meet. Please send help. Please help those who are suffering the aftermath of this deadly flooding in the southern Ukraine along Dnipro River. Please help all Ukrainians who are suffering from the Russian strikes right now. And give us all peaceful skies, all of us, regardless who we are and where we live. Dear Lord, thank you so much for allowing us to come together and pray. Please help everyone who is praying right now or just watching us pray. Answer every prayer and make every wish come true. Thank you so very much. I would like to ask for a few people. They need help. They are Wayne, Shirley, Debbie, Jan Allen, Finola, Lars Henrik and Lars Henrik's mother, the Highwayman, Essie from the Scottish Isles, Outlander and family, Chorizin family, David Porter and family, and everyone in Chernovtsi, Ukraine, Lars, Lazarus, Susan Marshall, Beulah, Buzz Salmon, Alvin, Alvin's sister, Teresa D, Al Garcia Castellanos, Terry Carter, Joe and Lee McMahon, Meta Spencer, Diana and her family, Bree's friend, Caroline, Albina Fell, Michael Yukon, Joel Life, Karine Vasseur, Pamela J, Daniel 9, Lindsay, Larry, Yelena, Natasha, Jake, Michael, Oля, Dasha, Sky, Bonnie, Svetlana, Karen, Janine, Michael Milkevitz, Marlene, Paul Bins, Richard, Mallory M, Dirk Misler, Linda, Terry, Richard Burris, and Angelic at Life, Scan Family's grandson, Randolph, Harry's family, King Nero, Gaby Hyman, Donald, Deborah, Lisa's son, Jade Kaltenberg, Brittany S., Allison, Dave Moyers, Maureen M., her sister, Mr. Hanson, Bob, Rob, Matt, Kayleen, Ashleen family, Mr. Dean Spooner, and his church called Our Savior Lutheran Church, Lisa Kumrian, Jacob, Adam Oliver, Amy, Kyle's wife, Grace Philosophy, please send recovery and shine light upon her wonderful family and granddaughters. Maggie, Carmen's sister, Vladislav and Sergey, Susie Mailer, Gina, Wayfarer, AMS paramedic Liz, Golden Griffin, Lori Miles' husband, Sherry, Layla, Philip's mother, Thomas Fall's mother, Heather, Susie Mailer, Vasilian Lubamirov, Paul, Julia Haney, Hannah, Yorkie Mom, China Bill, Paul, James Gentz, Sarah Stokes, Per, Linda Trombley, Margaret, Frank in Texas, Greg, Jim Shirley Hall, Ann Larson, her family and daughter Hannah, Florentina, Max family, Patty L, Sherry Morin, CKOC, Brian, Amir's uncle Dicky, Liz Dumbrell and her grandparents, Ripted, daughter of Aspen English, Ruth, Alona and her boys, Babe, Darla, Susan, Paul, Ivan Gershkovich, Santa's Whiskey, Paula McDonald, White Lightning, Liz, George Ruberty, thank you for shining your light upon him and help with his send him recovery, please. Pam, Dave Strains. Also would like to mention a few special children, please send them recovery. They're Coulter, Cadence, Maverick, Theo, Madi, Ava, Sebastian, Karin Vasernis, and Ansley. Also asking for all children of Ukraine and Russia and the ones who have been affected by this terrible tragedy, please do not leave them. And please help all children who are not feeling sick all over the world. Send recovery so they feel good again. Thank you so much, dear Lord. Jesus Christ, amen. My friends, thank you so much. I would like to say that you're absolutely awesome and you rock. Before I sign in, I'd like to invite you to another message tomorrow, as usual. There will be a good one. I promise I'll make sure that I prepare well. And before I leave, I'd like to invite you to say along with me the usual out loud, Carthago delende est.